Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praise to Yahweh Bahasham. Masharah Yasharahla. Hallelujah. This is Elder Barak, spokesman for the Masharah Yasharahla. And again, to the 12 tribes scattered abroad, and to all the brothers and sisters in the different Israelite schools and camps. Kwam Yasharahla. Hallelujah. And I just want to bring out a point and a statement concerning the Masharah Yasharahla. And of course, what our objectives are, so that everybody can have an understanding. Of course, everybody knows that the Masharah Yasharahla have been conducting summits and conferences since 2014. Mosai will, our next summit conference will be in July in Atlanta. Mosai will. So we praise the Mosai for that, for allowing us to be able to continue to do that. But again, the Masharah Yasharahla means government of Israel. Okay, that doesn't mean that we're trying to establish our government in our own way, but we're trying to establish the government according to what the Most High teaches us in the scriptures. Okay, the government that the Most High promised us that would be set up under Hamashiach Yahushua. Okay, and our forefathers, our ancient forefathers, of course, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, Moses, Joshua. Okay, David, Solomon, okay, and also all our righteous priests and kings and prophets of Israel. How was Israel, Yasharahla, how was it set up as a government during that time? Well, we want to bring that back, of course, now in these last days, because why? The Most High teaches us to reestablish and bring back, okay, the government of Israel. When the Most High says in the scriptures, proclaim ye this amongst the Gentiles, okay, prepare for war. He's calling for all the governments of the earth to prepare for what's coming in these last days. So don't you understand that the Most High is also talking to Israel at the same time? He's also talking to us. But we don't have a government to even speak of. So what are we waiting for? What's preventing us from reestablishing who we are through our, and we're the real Hebrews, we're the real Jews. What's stopping us from establishing who we are and establishing our government? Okay, so yeah, now we have the understanding of our identity, our language, our land, who we are, our culture, our customs that you read about in the scriptures. We're the real Hebrews. But now we have to raise it to the next level, to the next bar, and establish the government of Israel. That's why we say Masharah Yasharahla, so that brothers can understand. This is why we say that. And it's not what some brothers I know with their negative mindset think that we're trying to do our own thing. Okay? Yeah, we can sit back and wait on Yahushua all we want. But Yahushua didn't teach us to do that. He said, look, the kingdom of heaven is without observation. He said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. So it's high time for us to now begin to, within us, spiritually, and of course, using the blueprint, which the Most High is the architect in Yahushua, to reestablish the nation of Israel. And so what are we waiting on? Why do you have to wait to be righteous or keep the law, statute, and commandments of the Most High? What are you waiting on? The Most High said, establish that within yourself now. So the same thing about establishing our government in Hamashiach Yahushua, where we know Yahushua is going to be the king and going to be the leader and the redeemer and the captain, okay, of this government. Isaiah 9 and 6. So I don't want to be too long, but I just want to make a point here. Isaiah 9 and 6. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, okay? And his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty Yahweh, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace, there shall be no end upon the throne to order it. Okay, we're doing everything in the righteous order of Hamashiach Yahushua, and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forevermore. The zeal of the Most High of the hosts will perform this. See, so the zeal of the Most High shall perform this. And the Most High has put the Spirit on brothers to initiate and try to reestablish the government of Israel. In other words, try to reestablish the tabernacle of David, which has fallen. And now it's high time for us to do that, because now we in the last days, we in the end. We in the end, just before Yahweh Shai break the seals, okay? The 7 seals you read about in Revelation 6th chapter. We are in the end just before the tribulation period, the great tribulation period. We in the end just before, okay, the destruction that you read about in the scriptures, okay, that Yahweh Shai is going to bring. We in the end just before the onset of the Antichrist and the false prophet. Okay, and when they come, when Yahweh Shai reveal to us, when they come, it's going to be hell on this earth. And it's better for us to be established as a government, unifying ourselves, coming together, assembling ourselves as Hebrew Israelites together, rather than be all divided up like we are now. So I say that to say this, that when the Masharah Yasharahla was established, we understood that we coming together, there's going to be brothers coming together in the Masharah Yasharahla and different schools, Israelite schools and camps coming together to have different lines of thought with understandings and doctrines in the scriptures. We understood that. So we said we have one common denominator, that we're all Hebrew Israelites, and also the common denominator that you must be in Hamashiach Yahushua. You must be in Hamashiach Yahushua. Other than that, then we said no. But that was the common denominator, and brothers understood that. Okay, so that's why now we're coming upon our 17th summit, and brothers come together from different Israelite schools and camps from different states throughout America, different cities throughout America. And yeah, you have some brothers that have the understand in their minds, they think the understanding of the Sabbath is a lunar Sabbath. Some brothers are with the 7-day Sabbaths. Some brothers, the new moon, think it's the dark moon. Some brothers say, well, okay, some camps say it's the first light. Some brothers think it's the Immaculate Conception, when some brothers say, no way. Some brothers say Cornelius is an Israelite. Some brothers say Cornelius is a Gentile. Okay, so all these different schools of thought, okay, just like the scriptures teach us, the Pharisees and Sadducees, okay? You had some who believed in the resurrection and some who didn't believe in the resurrection. The scriptures tell you that. So Israel goes through this. We've been going through this since ancient time, okay? But there's one common denominator that we have, is that we are the Hebrews and we are the Israelites. See, when it was time for Zechariah, when it was time for Nehemiah, time for Ezra, time for Zerubbabel and Joshua, after the Babylonian captivity, they said, wait a minute. The Spirit came upon them and said, wait a minute. Let's go back and reestablish the government of Israel under the laws, statutes, the commandments of the Most High. Let's rebuild the temple. Let's rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. Okay? Now that was during that time, coming from the Babylonian captivity. So now, here we are in modern day Babylon, captivity, in modern day Egypt, and the Spirit is upon us now to say the same thing. Let's reestablish the 12 tribes of Israel. Let's reestablish our nationality. Let's take back our nationality. Let's take back our language, and let's take back our land in Hamashiach Yahushua. So we don't have to wait. We don't have to wait to do that. We don't need another nation's permission to do that. Now is that time. So that's what the Masharah Yasharahla is all about. But yeah, we understood that there was going to be different schools of thought and doctrines and so forth. So now, of course, what does that mean? That means that as the Masharah Yasharahla grows as a structure of government and we're putting it all together, we need brothers, we need sisters, we need personnel, we need different Israelite camps to come together. We need to unify. We need to assemble ourselves together. That's what we need right now. because this is not going to be any kind of joke. When the tribulation period comes, it's going to be death, destruction, and bloodshed up to the horse's brow. 1,000 shall fall on your right side, 1,000 shall fall on your left side. And if you're in Yahushua, no harm shall come near you. Yahushua will protect you. But we need that. We need the protection of a Mashiach Yahushua, and what better way to do it as a structured government that's already in Yahushua. So it's now for us to do that. It's now time for us to. Why should we wait till Yahushua come, deliver us, bring us into the wilderness, and then try to begin to establish us as a government? Yeah, that's going to take place, but we establish it now. Why should you wait to now to begin to keep the commandments? Why? What are you waiting for? Are you going to wait till we get in the wilderness? Or are you going to start to apply and be an example of what Yahushua teaches us to keep the law, statutes, and commandments? Now is that time. That's why 2 Corinthians 6:1. Now is the time. Come. Now is the time for salvation. Now is that time, the scripture teaches. So, assembly. Let's say unity. Let's start with unity. Definition of unity: the state of being unified or joined as a whole.